Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel Atlanta to Dallas Aviation, and today we have, I believe it's episode 3 of the Global Alliance Airport, and featuring the OneWorld Alliance, and this is their bank. So we are going to go ahead and try to get into this. We start over here with the international carriers and regional gates. And we're going to start off here with Finnair. It's an A350-900 by NG Models. He is getting ready to board up, and he'll be pushing to Helsinki, Finland. All right, now we move on to Cathay Pacific. This is an A321neo, also from NG Models. This one will be departing to Boston, Massachusetts. And you're wondering, wait a minute, you're going to Boston, Massachusetts. So remember, part of this airport is that it's a nation state. So foreign carriers that aren't United States carriers can run domestic flights, if you will, to the US, and also domestic flights to Mexico, since it's a nation state on the border of Mexico and the United States, just outside of Texas. So yes, now the foreign carriers can only operate domestic services to cities where they have an international presence. So Cathay Pacific does have an international presence in Boston, so that's what this aircraft is going to be doing today. All right, moving on, we have the Alaska Airlines in the Honoring Those Who Serve 737-800. This one's also by NG Models, and it will be outbound to San Jose del Cabo. This next Alaska Airlines is a 737 MAX 8 by Gemini Jets, and it is heading to Liberia, Costa Rica. All right, here we have an American Airlines A320-200 with the CFM56 engines by Gemini Jets. This one will be departing for Georgetown, Grand Caymans. This American 737 MAX 8 by Gemini Jets will be flying to Bridgetown, Barbados. This British Airways A319-100 by Gemini Jets, he will be jetting off to Baltimore, Maryland, as they're waiting for some last minute bags there, and they're already hooked up to the tug, ready to go, ready to push back. So once they get their last minute bags and the jet bridge pulled away, we will be heading out. This big boy here, British Airways 777-3ER by Gemini Jets. He will be departing to none other than London Heathrow in the UK. And we have the King of the Skies next, Qantas A380 by Aviation 400. This one will be traveling to Sydney, Australia today. Next we have the Cathay Pacific A350-1000 by Aviation 400. This one's heading to Hong Kong. This Japan Airlines 787-9 Dreamliner by NG is scheduled to go to Tokyo Narita in Japan, in case you didn't know. The next 787-9 Dreamliner is Qatar Airways, also by NG Models, and this one's scheduled to depart for their hub in Doha, Qatar. And moving over to the regional area, we have this American Eagle CRJ-900LR, opted by PSA Airlines and modeled by Gemini Jets, is scheduled for a trip to Wilmington, North Carolina. This American Eagle ERJ-145LR, opted by Piedmont, modeled by Gemini Jets, is heading to Tallahassee, Florida. This American Eagle CRJ-700ER, or it might be a 500, not sure. It's operated by SkyWest, and the model is by Gemini Jets. It is headed to Heart of Dixie International Airport, serving the Birmingham, Alabama area, and in that airport is by YouTuber Heart of Dixie. And finally, to close out the international carriers and regional gates, we have this American Eagle CRJ-700ER, operated by PSA Airlines, in the not actually a thing. This is actually not a thing, by the way. But I'm saying it is a heritage livery for American Eagle. Now there are some ERJs and stuff that are in what we call the retro American Eagle liveries, but this is not one of them, but hence fictional. So but this aircraft registration actually does still fly for American Eagle. It's just not in this paint scheme. But anyway, so I'm saying it's the heritage livery, and the model is by Gemini Jets, and it is outbound for Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. Alright, now we move on to Concourse A, which the United States domestic carriers operate out of. For the most part anyway. Occasionally we put an international airline here if needed, or as you saw in the international, we have some American and Alaska Airlines flights going to Mexico and stuff. So they're over in the international concourse. But anyway, so we are going to start off Concourse A with American Airlines B787-9 Dreamliner by Aviation 400. This flight is outbound for ASJE International Airport, serving Christchurch, New Zealand. It's a fictional airport by ASJE Aviation HQ. Going to have a lot of fictional flights here. But this one is American Airlines 787-9 Dreamliner by Gemini Jets. It is preparing for a trip to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Alright, down there at the end of the concourse is another American Airlines 777-2 by NG Models, and this one's scheduled to go to Munich, Germany. Alright, next we have American Airlines 777-300ER by Gemini Jets. This one's headed to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Next we have American Airlines A321-200 Flagship Valor by NG. It's waiting on the last of the bags then pushing for Great Plains International Airport by CM Aviation, otherwise known as Red River Aviation. All right, this next American Airlines is an A320-200 with the IAE engines by Gemini Jets. It's boarding passengers for Delta MD-88 fans, Greater Hampton Roads International Airport, servicing Norfolk, Virginia area. And then we have this A319-100 of American Airlines with IAE engines, which might be... oh, I'm sorry. That does not have IAE engines on it. That has CFM engines on it. So excuse me for that. So that's CFM 56 engines, and that model is by Gemini Jets. It's scheduled for a departure to South Texas International Airport by Pearson Ray, and his airport serves the northern San Antonio and southern Austin, Texas area. All right, so it's a little premature to have this one in the OneWorld Bank. However, it has been officially acquired by Alaska Airlines, and it will be joining OneWorld. So I went ahead and put it in here. This aircraft is A321neo by Gemini Jets, and it is going to be departing to Kahului, Hawaii via Long Beach, California. All right, this little beauty is Alaska Airlines 737-900ER in the 100 years Boeing livery by Gemini Jets, and it's preparing for a trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. And then we got a Go Cougs. Alaska Airlines, operated by Horizon, on an ERJ 175LR. I'm sorry, ER. No, yeah, ER, sorry. And as you can see, it's in the very red Washington State Cougars livery, and it's a model by Gemini Jets, and this one will be heading to Fresno Metro International Airport by YouTuber Aviation 05, and it obviously serves the Fresno area. And then right here we have Alaska Airlines 797-900ER by Gemini Jets, preparing for a departure to Star Alliance Man's Oceanside International Airport, which serves way south Los Angeles and northern San Diego. The next one is Republic Airways ERJ-175ER, operating on behalf of American Eagle today by a model by Gemini Jets. It's scheduled to depart to Washington Roosevelt International by YouTuber Newark Aviation and serving the DC and Northern Virginia area. All right, so after the Republic, we have this American Airlines 737 MAX 8 by Gemini Jets. This one is scheduled for Jacksonville International by JT Pilot, serving the greater Jacksonville, Florida area. All right, the next American Airlines 737-800 is by NG Models, and it's about to push back for Charlotte, North Carolina. They're just waiting for the jet bridge to be pulled back. As you can see, the tug is already connected, or almost connected. Moving on to our next aircraft in flight. As you can see, it's getting bags, it's getting some catering. Let's see. This is American Airlines 737-800 in the OneWorld livery, also by NG Models. It will be getting catered, and it will depart once it gets its final catering and final bags for a flight to Dallas, Texas. Alright, so on the other side of the rotunda down there is our American Airlines 787-8 Dreamliner by NG Models. It's boarding and getting its final containers for the flight to Miami, Florida, before continuing on to Montevideo, Uruguay. Alright, our next aircraft is in the SkyWest House livery. It's operating a CRJ 700 and it's operating as American Eagle today. The model is by Gemini Jets and it's ready to push for Bentonville, Arkansas. Alright, and awaiting some fuel, and well, it's getting fueled on the far side. I'm not sure if you can see it. That little yellow streak on the far side of the aircraft there is a fuel truck. So they're getting some fuel. They're waiting for last minute bags, and they're already hooked up to the tug. This is American Airlines. It's a 737-800 by NG Models, and he will be pushing for Chicago O'Hare today. Alright, and to finish off this concourse, we have American Eagle ERJ-175ER operated by Envoy Air, and this model is by Gemini Jets. It's making a run to Greater South Carolina International Airport by YouTuber Gemini Jets 2000, and it serves the northern Columbia and southeast Greenville Spartanburg area. Now moving over to the Hammerhead, otherwise known as Concourse B, and right here getting ready to have the jet bridge pulled and get hooked up to this tug is the Alaska Airlines ERJ-175ER operated by SkyWest and modeled by Gemini Jets. It will be heading out to Victoria, British Columbia in Canada. Alright, next we have the Alaska Airlines 737-900ER in the OneWorld livery by NG Models. And this one, as you can see, is being pushed back for Seattle, Washington. Alright, this next aircraft is Alaska Airlines 737-900, no ER, just the regular 900, in a model by Gemini Jets, boarding and loading bags for a flight to Northern Virginia International Airport by YouTuber Southwest 252. Alright, so now we move to the next Alaska Airlines 737. This is a MAX 9 in the West Coast Wonders livery by Gemini Jets. He will board up for San Francisco, California after final catering is done. So you can see the catering truck is still pulled up, and they'll start boarding for San Francisco. Also receiving some catering is this Alaska Airlines ERJ-175ER in the Honoring Those Who Serve livery, and it's operated by Horizon, and it's a model by Gemini Jets. It is scheduled for Portland, Oregon. Our next specimen is the Alaska Airlines 737-900ER by NG Models. It's getting hooked up to the tug and awaiting final bags for its flight to Los Angeles, California. And our next aircraft is Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 in the normal everyday livery. This model is also by Gemini Jets, and it's boarded and awaiting a tug for its flight to San Diego, California. And to finish off the hammerhead, we have this very colorful Alaska Airlines E-175ER operated by Horizon in the University of Washington Huskies livery, and model is by Gemini Jets. It will be pushing back for a flight to Billings, Montana. And finally, we move over to the remote gates at Concourse C. So we're going to start with this Alaska Airlines 737-700, a model by Gemini Jets. It is preparing for a departure to Everett, Washington. Then, as they load up some last-minute bags from that yellowish bag cart there, this Alaska Airlines ERJ-175ER, which is operated by Horizon in the Horizon Air Retro livery by Gemini Jets, is being serviced for a flight to Boise, Idaho. Our next ERJ-175ER for Alaska Airlines, operated by SkyWest, and the model is by Gemini Jets. This one's boarding up for Reno, Nevada. This next one is Alaska Airlines honoring those who serve, 737-900ER by NG Models. It's receiving bags and catering for a flight to Orlando, Florida. All right, our next Alaska Airlines is 737-800 by NG Models. It is boarded awaiting pushback for Sacramento, California. This Alaska Airlines 737-800 model by Gemini Jets is being catered and then we'll start boarding for San Jose, California. And to finish the video, we have this Alaska Airlines 737-800 in the Salmon People livery by NG Models. As you can see, it has been pushed out to start its taxi, and it is heading to Las Vegas, Nevada as well. This is the earlier departure, and the one at Concourse A is the later departure. Get one more view of the main part of the airport here. So that'll do it for this episode of Global Alliance International Airport, featuring the OneWorld bank of aircraft. This particular Global Alliance is probably the hardest one for me to fund right now, even though I have a good amount of Alaska Airlines models, which helped fill in a lot of this. I don't have as many American Airlines current livery models as I kind of need, so I had to fill it in with a lot of Alaska. And then internationally speaking, I actually do have a good amount of British Airways models, but everything else that you saw, I only have one other Qantas. Now, there were two Cathay Pacifics in my video. I do have a Cathay Pacific Airbus A350-900. I had the 1000 in this video, but I also have a 900. I do have a couple more Japan airline planes. They're both A350-900s. One of them was an earlier livery version of it, so I don't really use that one. So I only have one other Japan Airlines right now that I can use. And the Qatar The Cutter 7879 is the only one I have currently. I do have, I can't remember who it's coming from, but I think it's Aviation 400. Aviation 400, I believe, is putting out another Cutter A350 1000, which I have on pre-order, but that one probably won't be here until nearly my birthday in March. So I don't have that one. And then I only have the one Finnair. One aircraft that I didn't get in here that should be joining OneWorld soon is Fiji Airways. I do have a A350-900 for that, but I didn't have room for it, and I wasn't sure. I couldn't verify that it was for sure a OneWorld Alliance partner quite yet, even though I think they do have some sharing going on, but they're not. They're officially supposed to begin in 2025. I just don't know when in 2025. So maybe by the next time I have a OneWorld video, I can include that one, and maybe I will also have a few other aircraft that I can use on the, at least on the international side. And definitely I hope I'll have some American Airlines. I got plenty of American Airline wide bodies. I just don't have a ton of narrow bodies in the current livery. I do have a decent amount of them in the chrome livery. I could have substituted in one of my old ones and say it was a retro, just like I did with the American Eagle. But I had enough Alaska Airlines to make it work, so you got to see most of my modern Alaska Airlines collection in this video today. But anyway, so enough rambling on with that. Also, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the content of this video. And if you've seen multiple videos and you're enjoying the content there, it's not very polished, I admit, but if you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, happy collecting.